Hello, what's up everyone? Welcome to another Northgard video on this channel, and today with another patch note review, and it's gonna be about the new balancing patch that came out just a few days ago. It's the July balancing patch. It also said which balancing patch it is that came now to Northgard. I think it's the 3rd or 4th. Pretty interesting patch. A few things got changed right here, and hopefully the meta changed up a little bit right here. We're just gonna jump right in and see what the changes are, and I hope you enjoy the video. So let's check the introduction right here. We have Hello Vikings. So today we are releasing a comprehensive balance patch designed primarily about feedback and suggestions posted to us by the community since our last balancing patch back in March. We've made a number of major changes and even introduced some new mechanics with this update that you can see everything we've been working on below. Oh, see, nice to see. A warning right here. Please note that we have introduced a backup system for the game progress save files. As with any new system, there is a risk to lose your progress. Please copy any files by stats contained in your save folder. Would generally be a good idea. I think I personally didn't do that yet, but I'm definitely gonna do so, since I think this is the problem that a lot of players have their rank reset and all their wins reset if this data went lost. I heard from a few people that actually lost it from patches, so if you want to stay safe, definitely copy it out. If you don't care too much about your win counter and everything, you might just not do it like that, but in general it should be a good idea. So let's see what the general changes are, and start with the first changes with this patch. At first, the Guardian path got a little rework right here. So we have Call to Arms now in the first position. You will also not be able anymore to convert your civilians into militia and then therefore defend your territory with them. Call to Arms is now a passive ability placed on your town hall. Every 6 months, Homeland sends you 2 militia to help you defend your territory. The militia is a self-sufficient unit that I think means that it's gonna controlled by the AI and not by yourself. I didn't really have time to check that out myself yet. And it will attack any incoming threats. You can have a maximum of 2 militia in your territory, while that will be rising as more abilities you will be getting out of your military tree. Also new is that each kill on allied territory gives you 100% military experience. So also with the Call to Arms, I would say, ability right here. The next one would be Garrison. Will now be in the 2nd position. So basically that gives you 1 warband for every defense tower you had. I think that's also gonna stay like that, because right here each defense tower adds +1 to your maximum warband, +2 if it's an upgraded tower, but we're also always pretty useful, especially for the Dragon Clan, to get a little bit of bonus warband, while the other military trees are usually a little bit stronger. But I think that's what they want to do here, to make the Guardian tree in general a little bit more appealing to the players. Remove disconvert all civilians into militia. We read that before. Weren't that the 3rd one? Call to Arms were the 3rd run, right? Before, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's right here. It's the 3rd. I think so though. But yeah, got removed. We already knew so though. You gain 1 free tower upgrade each year, so that's already in the 2nd position right now. You don't need to wait until the 3rd. Pretty sure that we're like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it were like that. Or a word? I think you got the free tower upgrade already from the 2nd one, and the 3rd one were Call to Arms. So a little bit confused right here, but we'll see. You can have a maximum of 4 militia in your territory, and that's what I meant. With every ability you will be getting, you get 2 more militia you can actually get. So if you get the 3rd one, just gonna have a little jump right here. If you get suppressing fire, you can have 6 militia in your territory, and I think that can make a little bit of a difference, especially because they are not villagers, and I think you don't need to feed them. If you actually need to feed them, it would get pretty bad pretty fast, but I hope you don't need to. I have a little bug fix in here too. The XP gain bonus of the Guardian path, which used to be on Garrison, no longer gives double XP to players that kill units of a Guardian player on his territory. Okay, that's a little bit It's a little bit of a weird thing, so yeah, nice that the bug were gone. I didn't even knew about this, but yeah, definitely something that needed to be removed. So let's see what the suppressing fire can bring us here. It's now in the 3rd position. You don't get a free tower upgrade each year for free anymore, but mostly because you get it on garrison right now. And now I get it. Like, it got removed from suppressing fire and now went over to garrison. Now I get it. The human units within an area that contains an allied defense tower gain plus 30% defense. That is pretty interesting because it doesn't say that it only needs to be your towers, it just needs to be an allied tower. So you can also take advantage of this ability if you are not even fighting in your own territory. So that could be pretty interesting for team games. I don't know if it's actually that strong that it will get the Guardian path over the Tactician and Conqueror path, like to be just more appealing to pick right there. If you're like expecting to have a more defensive game, I feel like this tree could in general get pretty interesting just because of the 6 militia you will get at the 3000 experience mark. Well, it's pretty hard to reach, to be honest, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say how appealing that actually will be, but we will see in game. I like the suppressing fire bonus. It is a 3000 experience way to actually get it though, so hard to say. Like, the first ones are okay, like the garrison one were always pretty cool to have as the first path you will go for, or the first ability of the path that you will be getting. I don't know how strong it will actually be when it is your second, because it's usually already quite and when you reach 1.5k you're usually already in late game, I would say, because some big fights must already have happened when you got this ability, but maybe in more aggressive games that might actually be a little different. But yeah, quite an interesting change here to the Guardian path. Let's see how it will actually play out in the game. I didn't have too much chance to try it out right now, but it looks very interesting and I'm hyped to try it out a little bit. But with that, let's jump into the quality of life features. A new hotkey is set. With shift left click you add remove a unit from the selection. With control left click to select units of the same type within a selection, and with the new hotkey to create new groups with the selection. Already existed within the game but never get exposed in the options. Yeah, okay. So basically, if you know the grouping system, like the control grouping system out of other strategy games, it now got a little bit more like that. Like maybe you know it out of Age of Empires or Warcraft or Starcraft, and I think they now took another step towards that, because in general it's a pretty good system. So I'm completely not bothered that it's pretty similar to other strategy games, because it's just a very good system, and I think has a very good place in Northgard here, and I'm hyped that it's now also implemented, and I might also use it quite a bit here. It's definitely a quality of life feature, makes some things a little bit easier to, for example, just get a single unit out of your a control group to let it go home and heal, for example, and you don't always pull it back into the front just when you press the control group by accident and get them in the front. If you press E, will still happen though, but it's already quite a help right there. Pretty cool in my opinion. Select circle is now called go next in unit building type for clarity purposes. That's interesting. Also, always like the cycling, even though, well, it can be pretty helpful for Raven clan, that you maybe control group one of your docks or harbors for Raven, of course. Then you can cycle through them for raids and everything else. I right now get a control group for every single harbor that I have as Raven. I think it can still be pretty helpful, because with fast scouting I then know exactly which dock I did something, even though I oftentimes also forget. So if I send a raid with my harbor, with my control number 1, I know that with 2 and 3 I can still send out raids if I will actually remember it. It can be a little bit helpful, won't be that easy with the cycle. But as long as you don't, I guess you jump to the building, which also makes it a little bit weird for just that purpose. But for other purposes, I guess it can also be very helpful. Just not like in other games, like for example, Age of Empires, you have like 2 training camps. I'll say now it's called barracks in Age of Empires. But you will cycle through the buildings because you produce your units in the buildings. You don't need to do that in Northgard. You just click your villagers to the war camps, obviously. But I still see situations where it can be pretty helpful, and yeah, glad that it got implemented right here. New toggle to choose radar icons or military are displayed by default on the minimap. Okay. There weren't a toggle right there? Well, it's a new toggle, so I guess there were a toggle there, right? I'm pretty sure there were a toggle. I always do it with my keyboard, but I also gonna keep an eye out for what that actually means. Let's see. New toggle to display word info by default or not. I think it's never shown to me, so I'm pretty happy about that. Just not gonna touch that. I'm not too much of a fan of the world info because usually you have the infos. If you just click on the tile, you can already see the infos. You don't really need that, man. Not too important, I guess. Can be helpful, I guess, for the people that really like to have the world info displayed. I think it's never displayed at the start of the game, and you always need to push a button. So players that really like it can now just have it enabled by default. Think it's cool. It's cool, even though it's not too important for me. Few changes to the mod system right here. Not a lot. You can already see here. We have data mods. Addition to modifiable values in CDB. I know what that means. Yeah, I know what that means. Tool upgrade, weapon upgrade, and rolling cost in the forge. Okay. You can now change the values. So you can make weapon upgrades quicker or relic. Oh, that's interesting. Wood consumption by units, also pretty cool. I think the food consumption you can already alter, right? Not 100% sure. Like a modder might need to write that down in the comments if you feel like it, because I definitely don't know if you can already change the food consumption of units. There would be interesting. You can basically change up the whole game with that, with just changing up the consumption amounts of different units and create game modes that don't really feel like Northgard anymore. But I think it's not too bad, actually. Just like it's for some fresh air, you know. Like I like Northgard, that's why I'm still playing it. So I guess I won't really make the default game mode less valuable for me or anything, but it's always cool to have a little bit fresh air, maybe jump into a mode what has a completely different goal than a normal Northgard game would have. I like that pretty much. That were why I really like to have the mod system implemented, to maybe have experiences in Northgard that you wouldn't have thought that you can actually have in Northgard. So pretty cool. You can also play the mods on peer-to-peer right now in multiplayer, what I think is pretty cool. Just I think I didn't make an actual video about that, so if you didn't know that, you now know. It's pretty interesting. Play peer-to-peer with your friends on any modded map, so I think that's pretty nice implementation. I think you can only see modded games if you have the mod that is played there in your subscriptions, though. So it's a little bit would be cool if you could just see them all, and maybe the lobby browser would show you, hey, they're playing this mod, you need to download this, and you could jump in. That would be cool. And also would be cool to being able to play it on actual servers though, but I guess that's something that might come in the future. I really hope so. Though. It's a really cool implementation. So we also have script mods. Restrict the talk function to valid bannermen. Don't know what that means, but yeah, we'll see. Again, if somebody is in the modder community who knows what that means, feel free to drop that down in the comments, because I definitely would be interested, but I have no clue what it means right now. We have a new tile here. It's Wegvisire, the source of incredible knowledge. This new zone is protected by 3 spectral warriors and can be colonized with lore only. Increases building, repairing, and forging speed by 30%. What would be interesting, what I ask me in the right very moment, does it mean generally on every tile or just this very tile? I guess it's gotta be found out. The tile design itself looks pretty cool. I like the idea of the Spectral Warriors on it, because definitely a new unit to clear out, and just imagine clearing out the Spectral Warrior tile with X-Throwers, man. It's completely possible, but it takes ages. Yeah, bring some fresh air in here, and I like the design around the, I would say, lore stone right here. I hope that it's actually a lore stone, but I don't think it is, right? I don't think it's lore stone. It would say in the text right here. But yeah, it's a really strong tile, I guess, already, like this in general. Even if you would only get the bonies in the very tile, I think it could still be pretty bonkers if you just like put a forge in there and maybe even upgrade that. I just imagine how quickly your relic and different upgrades will be done. I think that can definitely be pretty worth, even though the tile might oftentimes be pretty much in the front of your territory and therefore be a pretty vulnerable tile. So yeah. It's hard to say right now. Let's see in the game. It looks pretty interesting, but yeah, gotta be determined how strong the tile actually is, and yeah, how it can actually shape up a game here. Let's jump to the balancing fixes. First, a few general fixes right here. That will be silos, only cost 80 wood. Big fan of that, of course, as a stack clan player. That will just make stack a little bit quicker in the early game if you like want to get up your silos. It's not really a lot, like you're paying 40 to 60 wood less if you have 2 or 3 food sources. What is like the general amount that you will be getting? So 40 to 60 wood less to pay as a stack, but in a situation where you need a lot of wood, so it might actually be like feasible that you're now a little bit quicker there. I think it's not gonna be that huge, but in general I don't think it's too bad of a change, because silos, it's just hard to argue for silos in general. I think the most important thing there is actually the upkeep cost for silos. Like this upkeep cost for silos must legitimate that you place the silo in a tile, and I just right now think that the bonus of the silo is actually not that big to make it that worthy to build. Like there are just other buildings you will get more out of a boost of 40 taxes you need to pay for them and for the wood you need to put in for them. Now making them cost 80 wood less, 20 wood less will be help, but I don't think it's gonna be super strong right away, but we'll see. There are definitely situations right now where the silo can already make a lot of sense, not even talking about rats where you just straight up need one or you will have a problem. So Bragaful also got a little change right here. When you have under 500 commercial influence, you will now get +3 gold from it. You have between 500 and 1000, you will get +6, how you got before. Basically you always see the old numbers right here. And between 1000 and 1500 commercial influence, you will get +9. And from 1500 to 2000, huh? I'm pretty sure you will also get +9. After 3000 you obviously won the game. I think that's basically what it will also say, that further from 1500 you will still get the +9, or will it just stop? Will it just stop, you get +0? I don't know. Didn't went with Bragaful for the trading win for a long time, but the most important thing here is obviously that under 500 commercial influence you will only get +3, but will make the horse a lot weaker with his with its relic rush, and yeah, definitely gonna be a shot in the foot for the horse clan. We'll see how it plays out again in the games. Maybe it's still actually worth for the horse to go for the relic, but having 50% less income for the relic, I think that makes it a lot less appealing for the horse clan to just straight up rush it. Maybe in the later stages of the game it can actually make sense. But I think even then, there are stronger options to go for right now, like +3 gold. That's basically 1.5 merchants without any upgrades or anything. So that's not 3 merchants anymore, you know. It's pretty strong change right there. I like it quite a bit, of course, because the horse clan is just an insanely strong clan in the current meta. Let's start with the wolf clan right here, with the clan balancing, like the clan specific balancing. And for wolf It will obviously be the veiled threats right here. Improves your trade route crowns income by 50% instead of 75% before. And if you have a war chief in the tile where you are trading, you have 130% bonus instead of 150% bonus. I think the bonus is still pretty strong. Like Veiled Threats build will definitely not be gone right now because yeah, you were just banking up insane amounts of gold right now. They are now pretty, they will be moderate. They will not be as big anymore, obviously, since the bonus is a little bit smaller. And I think it incentivizes you a little bit more to keep your war chief, what is in this case, of course, the berserker, in a trading tile to get to 130%, because that's not actually that, didn't get that hit. Like, the change from 75 to 50% is straight up a 33% debuff, and from 150 to 130, how much percent of a debuff is that? Is that even 20? Like, it's not a lot, so obviously it's a little bit of an it's meant to incentivize you to keep your berserker in a trading tile, what will still let your trade be insanely strong. But I think even the 50%, that's the old number for food trade for goat. I think that's ages ago. I don't know how much food trade it gives you right now. Maybe it's also 50. It's definitely pretty strong and can help you out quite a bit in games still. So I think Veiled Threats build definitely not that, and the Wolf Clan definitely not that. Just got a little bit of a hit right there. Clan of the Snake also got a little change here. The poison decreases attack speed and move speed by 35% now, instead for 20%, and that's a significant change in my opinion. That is almost a 100% buff for the poison. Of course, like it's 75%, but it's still super strong, and I guess it will make quite a difference in quite a few games. I already compared it a little bit to the Bear Clan Relic. I don't think it's quite there, because Border King has hit so many units with it, and skirmishers usually don't hit the whole army at the same time. If not, your focus is really not that good. I feel like you should rather go for unit after unit after unit after unit. Of course, you're always gonna hit a few other units around there that you will also slow down right then, but I think a big part of the army of your opponent will not be hit by this debuff if you don't have a completely spread fight, but you don't really want as the Snake, I think, at least. But yeah, gotta be determined also again in game. Maybe there are styles of micro where you can force your opponent to get a lot of units slowed down, and especially I think if you hunt other units down, it will be super helpful, just slowing them down and then basically picking a unit that is not slowed down behind there and try to get as many units killed as possible with that. I think it can be a very significant change and very strong. Don't know if the Snake Clan really needed that, but they got it now, so it will be interesting to see. And Scorched Earth is now able to loot resources from neutral factions. Didn't try that out either yet, but it sounds pretty cool and can give the Snake Clan a little bit of an edge right here. I don't know. Snake Clan didn't seem too weak before, so did they really need that? Maybe they did. Maybe they did. Not sure. Sheep. Clan of the Goat, rather. Having at least one sheep in an area reduces the need of firewood by 20% during winter for this area. This effect also lasts all year long if the sheep is in a sheepfold. So for the Goat Clan, it's pretty helpful. For the other clans, it's basically not a lot of change right there, but pretty interesting. It would be nice to know if the Goat Clan now actually has less wood consumption problems, because you have all summer a little bit of a bonus there. And if it actually... Nah, I don't think so. I just thought about if it would make sense to split up a few sheepfolds to have sheeps around the area, but I guess the firewood that you are saving is not really worth the upkeep for an additional sheepfold you would need to build, so I'm just gonna put that thought back. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Another bug fix. The former sheep bonus was active all year for all clans and has been corrected. Okay, didn't know about that, but interesting to know, and good that it's not possible of course. Food trade. Food trade also increases your trade rounds crowns income by 70% on tiles with natural food source. Okay, that sounds pretty strong. Every trade bonus that gives you like over, I would say like 25% is significant. It basically destroys every use for building a marketplace at all if you don't want to buy any resources, because trading is just so strong in Northgard for years now. And honestly, if you're in a team game not really going for trade and trying to build up an actual gold eco, you will suffer against the clans that will just go for the trade eco, because the game is more and more shifting towards that direction. Just with the Wolf clan, Veiled Threats, you have the Horse clan being very interested in trading, you have the Kraken clan being interested in trading, you have the Snake clan either going for the Kraken build, being interested in trading for lore, or going for the silo build of the stack, being then interested to trade away all their food. I think the Ox clan is not really trading right now, but I guess that could be the reason why I'm not that strong with Ox clan, because I don't trade with them. The Bear clan is also trading, so yeah, I guess merchants will more and more die out throughout the time as trading gets stronger and stronger. I don't know, at the start I weren't too much of a fan of having trading taking over so hard, but it has been such a long time that I actually have come cool with it. I guess there will just be a lot of trade going on in Northgard right now, and we will see a lot of trading posts, in my opinion, in the next time. While I don't think, like, if you have played higher level Northgard for the last months, I guess you're already pretty used to it to basically build a trade route economy. There are a few clans that don't do it, of course, like for example the Boar clan can't do it, therefore also one of the clans that leads a lot of love to be helpful will also come down below soon. Therefore also not a clan that really gets picked in a team game meta, because it's just not able to produce a lot of gold if it's not in a state where it's basically completely busted for its own gold economy. It's really hard to get the Boar clan on the level with the other clans, because it just doesn't have trading to other clans, what is so important in the current team game meta. So, Clan of the Dragon needed the nerf. Nerf also came in. I heard that it helped. So the dragon skins now, instead of frequently, sometimes execute a mighty swirling strike that damages all surrounding enemies, and I heard that it actually is pretty helpful that dragonkins are more and more back to a yeah, how could you say, dealable level right there. Even though they might, it's a walk on the line, you know. You make the dragonkins too weak, it's not really worth to play dragon anymore, because they have no other options. You make dragonkins too strong and nobody's playing something else than dragon anymore, so it's hard to balance out. But I heard that they are not as much of a force anymore, what is pretty nice, because you won't have a general dragon ban going on how it were right now. Like, I didn't saw dragon for a long while and played it for a little bit of a while here. Buying thralls has now been increased by 50 crowns each time, like the price increases by 50 crowns each time, but it decreases also quicker. What is pretty important, because at the later stages of the game you just weren't able to buy any new thralls because the price of them were just too high, and I think they, on one side, made the dragon at the early game a little bit weaker because the thralls are a little bit more expensive, and in the late game it's actually still playable because you don't need to buy new thralls, and you just won't be able to do it anymore. It is more of a thing for 804 and 805 games that you weren't able to buy them anymore, but I think still an important thing, because on free-for-alls could have been just your death sentence by the price decreasement just not being high enough. But yeah, balance out right now. Hope that's gonna be enough to actually make them work in the later game, because these were pretty frustrating situations in my opinion. So we have the clan of the Boar right here, the clan that definitely needs a little bit of love right now, and in my opinion even after this patch still needs a little bit more, but hey, let's just see. The starting bonus will be learning a new lore, will give you 20 fame instead of 15. That is 5 more fame for every lore, what is cool. It's not insane, but it's cool. Gives the lore Boar a little bit more fame right there. The Greater Blessings requires 500 fame, of course, your Jarl bonus. Your winter penalty is massively reduced with Freya, 70 for food and 50% for wood. So actually got nerfed a little bit. Interesting. Nice to see, nice to see. So a little nerf here for the Boar clan. Don't know if that were needed, but hey, we got it. Balder gives you +5 happiness and +2 lore production. I think that weren't before, right? That's interesting, that's interesting. Having a little bit lore production with Balder's Blessing, but reaching 500 fame with the Boar clan. Good luck. Yard's Blessing will give your army and upgraded towers 10% attack instead of your war chief. That is a little bit of a military bonus right there for the Boar clan. But yet again, reaching 500 fame with the Boar clan in a team game where it's really going hard. Good luck. Osmosis. New. You obtain 1 happiness for every 3 colonized zones. Zone with forest, swamps, poisonous swamps, or fish provide 1 happiness. I like. What did change? Like poisonous swamps? This were just like before. You obtain 1 happiness for every 3 colonized bird. 4 colonized zones before? I'm not sure. Seems like osmosis, honestly. I guess I'm just a little bit like my memory is tricking me right here, but I think that I'm just forgetting about something. Again, if you know what the actual change is, just feel free to drop it down below in the comments, because I just failed to see it right here. Maybe it were 4 zones. Not 100% sure. Just definitely overreading something right now. Handiwork. New handiwork also grants -10% building upkeep costs. Okay. It makes the Boar even a little bit stronger for the early game. But the thing is that, for example, the Greater Blessings change and the starting bonuses change. If you go for the handiwork build, don't really make too much of a difference. At least if you go for an aggressive one. At least if you go for an aggressive handiwork build. But not 100% sure. Maybe there's a strategy that I'm overseeing right now, and even in the later stages of the game, like the handiwork bonus will help you out quite a bit. I don't think it will count for upgraded buildings, where the upkeep cost is actually super high. And if you want to reach 500 fame, you need to upgrade buildings even as Boar. But you don't want to upgrade buildings as Boar, because handiwork will not work anymore. But that's a little bit of a thing there, and like again, legacy is just... You know, you don't want to pick legacy. It's just so weak in combination with the new altar and the ability of the Boar clan to get fame. Yeah, you get 5 more fame for every lore you get now, but will that really change up? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Let's jump into the last clan right here. It will be the clan of the Raven. At 200 fame, you will get recruits. That will let your sailors produce 100% fame. I never really let my sailors produce fame, but I guess that could be interesting for rushing 500 if it's now 100% quicker. I'm not sure. That's definitely something to play around with. It seems like a pretty random change, doesn't it? Like, hey, you get more fame. We know you never do fame. Like, they know. Shiro knows that no one ever does fame on the docks. So I guess they want to like make it a little bit more interesting to go for it. I don't dislike that, honestly, to change it up a little bit, make other strategies a little bit more viable, but definitely got to play around with that a little bit before I can really say if that's a strong change and if it actually will make sense to rush 500 fame, for example, with your sailors just not going for lore. Just right now, the logic is always, if you go for lore, you also get 15 fame for every lore that you get, and therefore it doesn't really make sense to go for fame. With the change, it might actually be that quick that you oftentimes say, okay, maybe I just have one dock going for fame and the other one's for lore, or something like that. I don't really know. Don't ask me, but it seems pretty interesting, and yeah, let's see how it plays out in game. with the last sentence we're also gonna drop out here. Thank you all for your support and feedback you have provided in the last few months. It has been absolutely invaluable in our work. Keep the feedback and suggestions coming. Definitely. See you in Northgard. Shiro Games. Yeah, also greeting to Shiro Games. Thanks a lot for the balancing patch right here. If I understood that right, like if in the danger that I understood that wrong, I heard that those balancing upgrades will now come a little more frequent. I don't want to go too deeply in detail in this because I'm really not sure if I just understood something blatantly wrong and it's just not like that and it's just like business as usual how it will be proceeding. But I heard a bird spoke to me and told me that they might come a little bit more frequent right now. It would be pretty cool. Like it quite a bit. I don't need weekly balancing upgrades for Northgard, but there are a lot of players that seem to need them like that, basically. But yeah, would be cool to have them a little bit more frequent. I'm not saying anything against that, but yeah, pretty nice here. Yeah, with that, I actually want to jump out of the balancing patch video. Patch note review is how the video is called, but don't matter. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did so, you might want to consider to leave a like down below the video, because it definitely helps with the YouTube algorithm but getting the video to people. If not too bad though. You can also consider to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos, of course. If not, also not too bad. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, rest of the weekend. Maybe play a little bit of Northgard, try out the new changes, or see you back in the next video. Bye bye everyone, have a great one, see ya.